Okay, so this is going to be the video of the pull hit exercise breakdown, or starts and stops, whatever you want to call it. But this is going to be the breakdown video on how to do that. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to start in a second position. Your right hand is going to be under, a fist from the tab. Left hand is going to be over at the stopper. You're going to pull in on count 8. You're going to do a drop spin on count 1. From here, you're going to let go of your right hand. On the and count, your flag is coming flat. On count 2, you're going to re-grab with your right hand, and it's going to be underneath, and it's going to be money hand. So your flag pull is going to rest in your thumb pit area from here. Then you're going to let go of your left hand on the and count of 2, and then you're going to re-grab with your left hand at the second cheat tape on count 3. So we do a drop spin, a money hand grab, and then we grab at first and third, or tab and second cheat tape. So the beginning from here, 5, 6, 7, slide, 8, drop spin, 1, money hand grab, 2, 3. From here, we're going to do a crossbody angle, releasing the flag on 4, catching on count 5. When you do this, you don't want to think about releasing up. That's going to happen a little bit later in the exercise. When we do our pull hits or our angled hits, whatever you want to call them, you're going to think about almost going like out to the sides when you do this, so you're keeping it nice and localized, as opposed to lifting up, which means that you're going to have a harder time to grab those angles where you need to be. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a little bit under like a single rotation of the flagpole. What's going to happen is my right hand is going to reach across to my left hip, and my left hand is going to reach over, and it's going to be overhand at the second cheat tape. My forearms are going to be nice and boxed out, so I'm kind of making this like Z position. You want to make sure that whenever you're doing a crossbody angle, a lot of times people are going to pull their top hand too far and have this other hand at their belly button. You want to keep it in that Z position, and you want to make sure that your forearms are as flat as possible when you're doing that. So that's going to happen on 4 and 5. So you're going to start to move your flag on 4 on count 4, and it's going to be in the air on count 5. You're going to catch at your angle position. So we're here, we're straight up and down. We pull 4 and 5. Now from here, we're going to hold count 6. We're going to then bring our right hand out to the side across our body. We go through that seatbelt position, taking our left hand and switching it overhand at that second cheat tape. So you're nice and boxed out. Whenever I do this, I'm thinking about like squeezing with my left hand a lot more than my right hand, because that's the hand that is pulling and then stopping the flag at that nice flat position. You want to make sure that you're flat at your hips. And then from here, you're going to continue moving the flag in the direction of travel, going up to a right shoulder position. What's happening is my right hand, which is over, is then going to switch to under, and it's going to be at the tab. So you switch your left hand on count 7, and then on count 8, you switch your right hand. When you switch to count 8, you're going to be at belly button forehead level. That way you can then go back into your drop spin money hand grab. So altogether, that set of 8 counts will look like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, drop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6 flat, 7 up, 8. Notice that when I go flat on 7, I'm not lifting up and replacing my flag down. I'm just going across, because I'm already at my spin spot level, so my hand just has to travel across my body to my belly button in order to get into that right shoulder position. So make sure that whenever you're doing this, just like we would for rifle, it's all about minimal movement and how you're manipulating your flag. So the big things are your hand placements correct? Are you starting your initiations on time? Are you stopping your flag on time, how do you look in between those moments? Because this whole exercise is all about strength and confidence and looking really strong. So that's the first 8 counts. You're gonna repeat the first 3 counts, 1, 2, and 3. From here, we're gonna add on a little bit more rotation. So we're gonna catch straight up and down. So we're gonna pull 4 and 5. We're gonna hold on count 6. We're gonna go flat on 7 with the left hand and right shoulder 8 with the right hand. Making sure that each time I'm re-grabbing when I do count 7, 8. From there, I'm going to repeat that again, doing the first 3 counts, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm gonna add on a little bit more rotation to the seatbelt angle. 4 and 5, I hold on count 6, I go flat on count 7, I come up on count 8, and then I'm gonna repeat it again, 1, 2, 3. This time, I'm going to catch flat. So I'm gonna pull, and when I pull, I'm gonna lift just a little bit up, not too much, but enough so that when I catch, I'm catching with the first cheat tape right at my belly button. Notice when I did that, it was a little under-rotated, so I caught and I pulled to flat. You wanna make sure that you don't do that, so you do need to use a little bit more left hand on the pull, 4 and 5. That way it's nice and strong. You're gonna hold count 6, and now for all of the other sets of 8, we always had to move to the flat, but you're already there. So you just literally switch your left hand, and then you go back up to right shoulder on count 8. Now from here, this is where it changes a little bit. You do your first 3 counts, drop, money, grab, just like you did before, but instead of thinking about keeping that flag localized and pulling out a little bit, you're gonna think about pulling at this upper 45-degree angle. And this is my right hand at my right shoulder and my left hand at my left hip. So from that straight up and down angle, I pull and I release my hands, and then I let them hold there, and when I re-grab, I'm grabbing, splitting the tab. So the tab is at my sternum, my left hand is under at the first tape, my right hand is a foot from the tab in the silk, and it's overhand. And so this is gonna be my dip angle, and it's gonna be the last part of the right side. So I pull 4 and 5, I hold 6. Now we have to transition to the left side. So I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna re-grab over at the tab, and then I'm gonna let go of my right hand, and it's gonna go to the second cheat tape. So make sure that as you're doing this, you're really focusing on the hand placements. Those are super, super important. Now we do literally the same thing on the left side. All of the angles are the same. Your silk is just going to the other side. So we're at left shoulder, so we'll do a left drop spin, money grab. So drop, money with the left, grab with the right. From here, we're going into that crossbody angle. This time, my right hand is reaching up and over to my left shoulder. My left hand is reaching across to my right hip. I hold 6. I'm gonna move my right hand overhand flat on 7, and then I'm gonna move my left hand on count 8. So let's do the last set of 8 on the right side, going into the first set of 8 on the left side. So we're here, 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Hold 6, 7 left side, 1, 2, 3, cross body, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that 16 counts, the 2 sets of 8, that transitional moment is really important because we're going from the right side to the left side. You want to make sure that it's just as strong as the first 4 sets of 8 that you did on the right side. Now, going through the crossbody ankle, we're going to continue the drop, money, grab on the left side, and then from here we release on 4 and 5, catching straight up and down. I switch my right hand on 7, my left hand on 8. From there, I would then go to a seatbelt position, to a flat position, and then just like I did on my right side, I go into the dip. So once I get to that 5th set of 8, I'm thinking about keeping my left hand up by my shoulder when I release. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That way I can just re-grab. My right hand is under and it's at the first tape, and my left hand is a foot from the tab in the silk, and it's overhand. And you want to make sure that just like on the right side, the tab is right in front of your sternum and that your hands are splitting. Then from here, we hold 6, we re-grab on 7 at the tab, this time with our right hand, and then we're going to let go of our left hand and go back up to that right shoulder on count 8. So we had 4 sets of 8 on the right, we have 4 sets of 8 on the left, and then we're going back to the right side, because the last set of 8, we're going to do a drop spin, a money hand, and then a grab. And then on count 4, we're going to release a pop toss, and that's going to be the last part of our exercise. So let's go ahead and do the 8 counts on the left side of the dip angle, going into the last set of 8 on the right side. So we have from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, switch 7, up 8. We go 1, 2, 3. From here, we release on count 4 in that pop toss. 4, 5, we catch 6, and then we hold 7, 8. So just doing that last 8 counts would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. So all together, you have your crossbody, straight up and down, seatbelt, flat, and dip on the right. Then you have the same thing on the left, and then you end with the pop toss on the right. So all together, we're gonna have 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, flat, 7, up, 8, go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, flat, 7, up, 8, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, flat, 7, up, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, flat, 6, 7 to the dip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, pop toss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. So when you're doing this exercise, it's very repetitive, and really a lot of it is mind over matter. A lot of times whenever we're doing this, if there's ever an issue, it's because people are kind of going on autopilot. So make sure that as you're going through this exercise, you're not only counting, but you're gonna say the angle that you're gonna do before you do it. And by doing this, it's not only telling your instructor, hey, I'm checked into rehearsal, but it's also letting you know what comes next, and it's letting your friend know who's next to you in flag block what's gonna come next as well. This whole exercise is about control, and so it's not just controlling your mind, but it's also controlling your body and making sure that every single time you're doing it, your posture is great, you are nice and confident, your initiations are together, your stops are together, and your hand placements are where they need to be. So just make sure that as you're going through this exercise, you're thinking through your checklists of things so that you know that you're doing it correctly. And this is a comment that I would say universally, regardless of whether this is, flag, rifle, saber, but in the exercise, if you are doing it full out and you are in the wrong place with your hand, don't move your hand on the hold. Just get back in where you need to be on the next count. So if I'm at that crossbody angle and I'm at that, first tape instead of the tab, I'm not gonna move during the hold because that's gonna pull focus towards me. I know that I'm wrong. I know that I can correct it on the left side. So the best thing that I can do is just make sure that when we go flat on 7, that I am in the correct place so that I can get back into count 8 and I'm not drawing like a lot of attention to myself. So make sure that whenever you are doing the exercise and you do have those moments where maybe you're at the wrong angle or your hand placement is incorrect, make sure that you're stopping and you're freezing and you're taking like self-inventory of what's going on. That way you can correct it through the rest of your exercise. And then you also know, hey, that's something that I can work on my own for personal practice time. That way I can go ahead and self-correct and not have to take time out of the ensemble unless, of course, your director is focusing on breaking down the exercise. So I hope my comments were helpful, and that's the breakdown of how to do the pole hit exercise.